Hey, 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 happy day 625 of What You Up To Now. Just thinking, I can't believe it's been 625 days that I've popped on here and talked about what I'm doing as I transition from corporate America, the brick and mortar world, to the online world of business. From, owning my own businesses and companies in lots of different industries to creating the same success online. Now, I will admit, I have not duplicated my offline success. If I look at my greatest successes offline and in corporate America, I have not come close to duplicating that online. And I can make excuses and I could say a bunch of reasons why. The really interesting part is I know exactly why I have not done that yet, but it doesn't mean, like anybody else, that I have gotten myself over that hurdle of solving that for myself. I know it's one of those situations where you know exactly what you need to do, but you're not doing it for whatever reasons, whatever beliefs are holding you back. Now, today, I think I mentioned, I want to talk about what's next, what's coming up next, and I want to talk about, I guess, a couple topics that are on my mind. One is, why do we let other people treat us in ways that are totally unacceptable? And also, why do we treat ourselves in ways that are totally unacceptable? I don't know about you, but I, in the past, and sometimes in the present, have the most ridiculous self-talk and beliefs. And I am amazed that after all the personal development work and all the trainings and all of the information and all the seminars and workshops and things I've been through, I still slip into that type of thinking sometimes. And it's just, I'll catch myself doing it. I'll get into like a little negative Nancy mode over something, or I'll get frustrated on the computer about something. My current biggest challenge right now is to do things on the computer without getting frustrated, especially routine things and things that are always changing and always different, because platforms and things are always changing and always different. And I'm using the excuse that, hey, my challenging vision is making things really difficult. Now, could I have and should I have gotten a virtual assistant and dumped off a lot of the things that I'm doing already? Absolutely. Why am I stubbornly holding on to those things? Because part of me wants to not admit that I shouldn't be doing those things. I've been able to do them all my life, and as I'm facing different challenges in my personal abilities, meaning my visual challenges, I've got to face up to the fact that I'm going to need help with certain things, certain aspects of my life. Now, I'm going on a solo trip coming up here. I'm going on a trip with lots of people, but part of my traveling over the next couple months will be a solo trip, and so it's going to be interesting to see how I pull that off. I'm sure I'll pull it off because I always make things work, but I'm a little nervous about it. I'm not scared, but I'm a little nervous about it because I know that the way I've always done things has to change. And we know that. We know that the things we do don't work forever and that we have to change them. And so I'm just personally struggling with letting go of things that have always come easily for me, or not that necessarily came easily. Some things I've had to struggle to figure out and learn, but now that I've learned them, I'm like, I can do this myself. And at some point I have to say, yep, I sure can do this myself, but should I be spending my time and energy doing it myself? So my goal is just to stop being frustrated over things that are outside of my control. Hello, this is one of all of our goals. And just be cool with going with the flow. And maybe it's like I've got this own little way of punishing myself in terms of managing things that upset me. Frustration has been a big boogaboo in my life, and I've had lots of years and lots of decades of really letting frustration control me, letting things not being the way I thought they should be right now. That's my definition of frustration. Really work me over and really cause me to get upset and angry and not necessarily behave in the ways that I wanted to. And guess what? When we're frustrated and upset and angry, are we making good decisions? Are we making good choices? Are we doing and behaving the way we want to? I don't know about you, but I generally have not been. I would get snippy with people, and I would be short with people, and I would use the wrong tone of voice or the wrong facial expression, and that hurts their feelings, and it usually made me feel bad too. So working on that, working on just always being a better person, right? I'm one of those people that thinks, you know what, yeah, I kind of used to suck, so maybe I should be a better person. Now, there's a whole lot of people in the universe that suck and don't even think that they should be better people. They just think they're fine and awesome and entitled to be the the a-holes that they are, and they can just keep being that way. And I'll tell you, that makes life kind of miserable if you want to be that way. And then there's other people that want to be a victim forever. And if I look back, I think I've never really felt like a victim, but I think underneath there have been circumstances and situations where I have behaved like a victim, even though I thought I was fighting for what I wanted and I was standing up for myself and I was really speaking my truth and being who I am. That's nonsense. I totally wasn't. For the vast majority of my marriage, I wasn't being who I really am. I was just being someone else. For most of my corporate career, a piece of me was being who I am, but the vast majority it was not being who I am. Until my last job in corporate America, I was like everybody else. I did what I thought I should do. I followed the norms of the organization that I worked for. I fit in, even if I didn't fit in. I found ways to fit in and be part of that culture, part of that norm. My lights are flickering on and off, sorry. So that's just kind of what I'm thinking today. Number one, why do we let other people treat us in ways that are inappropriate? And then why do we let ourselves treat us in ways that are inappropriate? Because the biggest thing usually holding any of us back, I know it's the biggest thing holding me back, is never things outside of me. It's never other people. It's never circumstances. It's always my thinking or beliefs about those circumstances and the impact that they're having on me. Because the truth is, we could really steal ourselves, meaning protect ourselves from just about anything outside of us. You know, short of someone killing us randomly and unexpectedly, we can pretty much prepare and plan and handle anything that life throws our way. So that's my thoughts on that for today. So today, next, what's next? I'm getting a little bit nervous. My daughter just left for her business trip, and that's kind of my signal to, as she comes back Saturday, I'm leaving Friday for my first trip of a lot of trips over the next couple months. For the majority of October and November, I am traveling and on the road. So preparing for that, I have done a couple of things, but for the most part, I am not ready for that yet. And I should be spending today and tomorrow really prepping for that. And I believe my little granddaughter is going to come stay with me. She's in a wedding today, so I'm super excited for her. Her auntie is getting married, and she's a little flower girl. And I know she's going to be so beautiful, but I think that they probably want to have her stay with me since we're the other side of the family tonight, so that they can, you know, actually have some fun. I don't know if they will or not, but I think they'll have fun. But I want to help out in any way I can. So that will just put a little dent into what I need to do, but I do want to get that done. I also decided yesterday, I think I want to create a sales funnel for my house, my old house, the project that we're doing, and just for the fun of it, just to say that I did it and see if I can't use that funnel to promote and sell the house, because that would be a big win for me personally with the ex-husband. It would be a, yeah, this stuff really works, and it's a little thing that doesn't really matter, but it matters to me. So I thought yesterday I might do that. I might just map out and do a quick funnel for the house and then do a video walkthrough, because it's looking so freaking awesome. I'm absolutely really delighted in how it's turning out. Now, we did have a meeting last night about the tile for the backsplash for, I don't know, probably the 6th time. There's 4 of us kind of putting together the remodel of the house. It's just a total cosmetic update and upgrade. The house is 20 years old, and so it's time, after dogs and kids and cats and raising a family in the house, it's time after 20 years, number one, to finish a lot of the stuff that never got finished because we did it quickly and we moved in, and number 2, to just update and spiffy up and make things look amazing, so that our little remodel and cosmetic rehab has turned into a huge facelift. Not on the outside. The outside of the house has always been gorgeous. We did put on a new deck. We did paint the front. We've washed the windows and done all these cool things, and cleaned out some drains and, like, what are they called? Rain gutters and things like that have been put off because of my vision and because of a lot of other things, and because we're divorced, and so it was just me rattling around in this big old house, and big new house that nobody was paying attention to. And now it is like a brand spanking new house. All new floors, all new paint, all new trim, doors spiffied up and finished, everything. New sink, new slate tub, new bathroom, new kitchen counters, granite counters that I had wished for back when we built the house 20 years ago, but it was just like, not in the budget. Just things that I wish we'd always gotten done that we hadn't. So instead of it being a negative, sad way of leaving and moving on. It's really providing a project where together we're all working toward closure, and I'm feeling really good about it now. If you watched my videos a couple of months ago, I wasn't feeling that great about it. Now I'm feeling really good about it, and it's actually turned into a fun project that will be an amazing home for someone else. So I want to do a funnel for that, and I'm going to have to get it done before I start traveling, or it won't get done. The other thing, what else? Oh, BP Challenge, day 18 today, was all about how do you make decisions. What is your go-to, quick and easy, down and dirty, fast decision? You got to have one. So what is that for you? And then I like to pull these cards every time I'm feeling a little discombobulated or a little out of sorts. Like this morning I woke up with a headache and a tummy ache probably because my daughter's traveling, and we don't try to worry about our kids, but we still worry about our kids, no matter how old they get. And I like to pull the cards from this deck. So the one I got today was no one else needs to know, or no one needs to know this, meaning nobody needs to know in certain circumstances your truth, your why, your inner beings, your inner thinkings, your doubts, your fears, your worries, your stresses. Nobody necessarily needs to know that. Nobody needs to know what you believe in and that you're on a whatever journey that you're on. In some circumstances, I was on a personal development journey for 20 years while I was married to my ex-husband, who is a total non-personal development person. He's one of those people that grew up, went to school, went to trade school, got his thing, went to work in corporate America, and that was it for him. That was his end of learning, his end of personal development. Until, of course, we got into real estate. Then he was cool with learning and growing with respect to just real estate. That's the only thing. But as far as being a better human being personal development, growing personally to create more good in the world, not at all. That was not at all his thing. Yet, I still continued to pursue that and that area of interest throughout our marriage because it was important to me. It was interest to me. And it didn't matter. No, we did have fights over it, and he gave me a hard time about it. But it didn't matter what he believed. It was the right journey. It was the right information. It was the right course of action for me. So I continued to pursue that. And so this card reinforces to me that it doesn't matter what other people believe or think or feel or say or do to you or about you. Only thing that matters is what you believe, what you're pursuing, what you want, where you're going in your life. And I mean that not to say it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks, and you do ruthlessly, you can, step on other bodies as you get to where you want to go. Not at all. It means you can pursue what you want to pursue based on your beliefs and what feels right to you, and it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks about it. Any outside influence, any outside comparison, any, thing outside of you, it doesn't really matter. So let's think about that today. So, if I can help you in any way, shape, or form, I know, kind of a convoluted what's she up to now today, but I'll get her done. I always get it done. I always get what I say I'm going to get done. So, I will get a lot done today, and I need to spend some time with family because my sister's called me and we're getting ready for a trip to take my mom down to Texas, and we have to get ready for that, as well as Oktoberfest, as well as a cruise, as well as some business travel and some events. So, it's super exciting and super fun, but it also adds an element of, how am I going to get all this done? But I always do. We always do. Isn't it interesting? No matter what life throws our way, no matter what, no matter how bad we hurt, no matter what's going on, no matter who comes in and out of our life, we always seem to survive and come out on the other side of it. So if I can help you in any way, go ahead, ask me anything, share it in the comments below, or just direct message me, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom. You can also find me as Pajama Grandma, Gramma, on most media of the big platforms. I'm not going to say a lot because there's probably tens of thousands of different platforms now. There's definitely thousands, but all the biggies, all the major ones. I wish you an absolutely positively amazing day. Again, if I can help you in any way, hit me up. Might not know the answer, but I probably know somebody that does. So whatever you need, even if it's like, hey, I don't know what to do next. This is my situation. What do I do next? Just ask. It never hurts to ask, right? Again, another life lesson that was really, really big and hard for me. But I will, even though I've heard it thousands and thousands of times, to just ask the question, ask for help, ask for what you need. I put off for decades actually doing it, actually asking. And I still I still will put off for a week or two asking the question because I think I should figure it out myself. I should be able to figure it out myself. I should be smart enough to figure it out myself. I should be able to do this myself. And sometimes, yep, we absolutely positively can do it ourselves and figure it out. But do we want to spend 2 weeks figuring it out? Or do we want to just say, I'm going to ask this question right now because I bet and the interesting thing is, as soon as you are willing to ask, even before someone else can answer, a lot of times the answer to the question will come to you because it's in you all along. You just weren't letting yourself see it because you were pushing back on and not willing to ask. So asking the question, it's like, oh my God, all of a sudden I was doing a training program and a certification program with ClickFunnels to be a certified partner. And I would come across something because I didn't have any online experience before I started doing that. Not really. I had dabbled, but I really hadn't done anything online. So I decided, I'm going to join the certified partner program and I'll knock this out in you could only open one section a week, which was super duper frustrating to me because I had sold my business and I had time and I wanted to knock it out faster. But it's a good thing I couldn't because I did come to a couple of lessons, a couple of things that I freaking couldn't figure out. And I didn't want to ask for help in how to do it. And every time, it was probably 3 or 4 times during the course of that certification program, I actually finally got up the gumption to ask. And the minute I would type the question into the group and push send, all of a sudden the answer would come to me and I would know exactly what to do. Because I'd heard it, I'd read it, I'd seen it somewhere, but my brain was hiding it from me because I was resisting asking the question, resisting asking for help. So stop that. Don't resist asking. Ask the question, just because sometimes asking the question is all it takes to find the answer within yourself. And if it doesn't, then I or someone else might be able to, point you in the right direction. I will say, if you're interacting in groups, if you're interacting with people, if you're asking influencers and other people, don't ask them a question that you could Google the answer to. Ask them their experience or their advice or what they think that would be a good next move, but don't say and ask a question that you could clearly Google the answer for. I'm one of the people that answers questions on Quora and other answer sites sometimes. I haven't been there for a couple of months because it hasn't been a priority for me. It's just kind of fun sometimes. But I get super frustrated with the people that ask questions that if they would just Google it, there'd be like 20 answers for them. Now, is that they don't know how to use Google, or is it just because they want somebody else to answer the question for them and tell them what to do? That is sheep mentality. Let's not be sheep. Let's think for ourselves and Google that shit. Like my daughter used to say when she was snowboarding in high school, the kids would say, well, just Google that shit. Meaning, just look it up. Go be a self-solver. Ask the question. You can find out how to do, I swear, almost anything you ever want to do on Google or one of the other search engines, and YouTube, Wikipedia, all the other sources on the internet. There's almost nothing that you can't figure out how to do or find out how to do if you have a little bit of initiative and ask the question. So go out, ask the questions, have an amazing day, but make sure you Google it or YouTube it before you ask, because chances are you'll get a better, more detailed answer from somebody making a YouTube video about it than asking me about certain things. Although I'm really good at some things. Anyway, have an awesome day. I'll, of course, be with you tomorrow with a less rambly What's She Up To Now. Bye.